Welcome back to Fox and Friends. An alarming new report by Parents Defending Education links the Chinese Communist Party to American K-12 schools. Now, the report shows 34 states and D.C., along with 143 school districts, have engaged in contracts to establish Confucius teachings, either from the Chinese government or from those affiliated with them. Contracts show U.S. schools accepted more than, get this, $17 million total. There are still several schools teaching the lessons, including Tulsa Public Schools in Oklahoma and Sisters School District in Oregon. Here with more is founder and president of Parents Defending Education, Nicole Neily, and Gatestone Institute fellow, Gordon Chang. Welcome to you both. We're going to start with you, Nicole. So tell me exactly what you uncovered.
Sure. This actually started because we identified in Northern Virginia that Thomas Jefferson School for Science and Technology had received over $1 million from CCP military-linked entities over a period of several years, which to us was alarming. And so we started to ask the question, is this taking place elsewhere? And if so, where, and what is the scope of it? And so what we found was astonishing. And what's frightening is we think this is only the tip of the iceberg. These were investigations we conducted over the past 4 months, but that's why we reached out to House, Senate, and governors across the country, because we would like a more thorough investigation of what's going on.
I'm really troubled that it took your group and not our government to find out that this happened. Before I go to Gordon Chang and talk about these Confucius Institutes, what is this funding going for exactly?
Sure. So there's curriculum that comes over, teachers that come over, money that's going to school districts. And this is certainly not to imply that all Chinese language and culture programs in America's K-12 schools are bad. But we are saying that families deserve to know who is funding these programs so that they can make informed decisions whether they want their children to participate or not.
Yeah, we should have full transparency on how much money. That should be like part of the newsletter going out to parents, and where that money is going to and how it's being used in the classroom. Gordon, we've seen this. Welcome, Gordon. We've seen this before with universities. I know that the Trump administration and particularly Senator Rubio have been going after these Confucius centers. Explain to our viewers what those were in the university. It appears that this is the same concept, but now going into our K-12 schools.
Yes, this is the same concept as the Confucius Institutes, which are on college and university campuses. Those are supposed to be language learning centers, but they are used to propagate Communist Party narratives, and they intimidate college and university administrators not to criticize China. Now, there are reports that there are somewhere in the neighborhood of, let's say, 500 Confucius classrooms in the United States. And this goes back to research by the National Association of Scholars. This is just so unjustifiable, because we can't do this in China. So why are we allowing the Chinese to propagate in the United States by an organ of the Communist Party that is meant to destroy our country?
Yeah, really quick, Gordon, what kind of, how is this a great investment for the Chinese? I mean, how can this affect the outcomes that they want?
Yeah, they can propagate this notion that Taiwan is part of China, or Tibet is part of China, or the Communist Party has been great for the Chinese people. So this is dangerous, and we should not be allowing it, full stop. There's no question about it. Yeah. We should not allow someone to try to subvert our educational system in this way.
Yeah, we know that some of these Confucius centers or institutes are also near military bases. I think we're going to put a full screen up here of what those bases are. Nicole, final note, what can parents do to fight this and find out whether their school is allowing Communist Party money from China coming into their school system?
We've been asking people to send us tips. We've been chasing down and looking at primary source documents, looking at board agreements with the Confucius Classroom Institute program, filing public records requests to prove where the money comes from. Again, so families can make a decision whether they want their child to participate in this, or if they would rather maybe have their child take Latin instead next year.
Yeah, well, we give a lot of money to these schools. I can't believe they need to take handouts from the communists, but that's the world we live in now, especially when you don't have a lot of patriotism left. People aren't as troubled by taking money from them. Well, Gordon, Nicole, great information. Thanks for filling us in. I hope parents are paying attention.